but very high up in the Financial Services Committee, where she works for consumers as well as small businesses on that committee as well. And as Yvette Clarke mentioned, she's on the Energy and Commerce Committee. This piece that she emphasized.
There's some good news in Congress about the fourth stimulus check. Developments are being made on the fourth stimulus package for Social Security recipients. And Chuck Schumer just announced his new strategy to get these bills passed through Congress, without Republican support, that is. But first, remember everybody that my goal of this channel is to provide you with the most up-to-date and reliable stimulus check information all the time. I always want to do my very best in helping you folks out with stimulus check information, because I know many of you guys are in need of financial assistance. And I do support the fourth stimulus check. If you do support a fourth stimulus check, get this video to 1,000 likes. Extra financial support for seniors is coming soon for all senior citizens in 2022. This is all because of the recent surge in the crisis. And inflation has definitely been hurting some communities very hard as the crisis only evolves. This is even despite the fact that over 169 million payments have been sent out in the third round of checks. The good news is that there is a continued push for a targeted fourth one. The new surge in the crisis had lawmakers very worried, so it is understandable why Americans want more relief passed. Due to the recent surge, folks, we can expect more economists to urge the Biden administration, as well as Nancy Pelosi, to pass more stimulus checks. And in my eyes, I don't think that Nancy Pelosi is just doing enough. She's not doing enough to help out the American people. And more stimulus payments definitely need to be sent out, and Nancy Pelosi has to do her job in helping us out.
About broadband is very, very important, because when we're talking about workforce development and so many other aspects of America's working families, that has made a tremendous difference. She was very important in the whole bill, but especially that part that came under her committee. I associate myself with the remarks that they've all made because they've gone to the point, but I just want to make a point about these New York representatives.
If you live in Florida, you could receive an additional $2,000 stimulus check or $1,000 stimulus check, depending on your job. If you live in Georgia, you could also get $1,000 stimulus checks. If you live in Maine, you can receive up to $825, up to $285 if you are a Maine resident. And also Maryland, Marylanders can expect to receive a check of $300. If you live in New Mexico, you can get up to $750 of a stimulus check. This is as long as you didn't qualify for federal crisis stimulus payments, all done in the past. But let's not forget this, 36 million Americans are still facing poverty, as Congress has not reinstated the expanded monthly child tax credit payments. For the last 6 months, 36 million families, folks, have been receiving these monthly checks from the IRS.
All right, you happy? All right. She ends up paying the same amount into the Social Security Trust Fund as he does. Okay, so he's paying 6.2%. She's going to pay a much smaller percentage.
If President Biden's bill is passed, families will receive a child tax credit payment this January. But the bad news is that the Build Back Better bill is still in limbo. It's hanging in the balance. It's so disappointing to see that lawmakers are not trying their best to get these relief payments reinstated. Although the child tax credit payments have temporarily stopped, grocery prices still haven't. The reality is that payments have really helped millions of families stay afloat, and it cannot be paused right now, especially as the crisis continues to worsen. In 2021, the enhanced program was projected to increase consumer spending by $27 billion.
All of them here. New York in this bill gets $11.6 billion, $11.6 billion to repair highways, $9.8 billion to improve public transit, $1.9 billion to fix and replace bridges, and $685 million to upgrade airports. That's a lot of money. It's a lot of jobs. And you know what? David Bacon. Yeah! David Bacon. What we're talking about, and my colleagues have talked about some of the specifics in the bill. I wanted to give you some thrust as to that's not all of the money, but that's just a sample of what's in there for the state of New York. And when we're doing this, what are we doing? We're improving the quality of our infrastructure. The quality of our infrastructure is about the safety of our infrastructure. So this is a safety issue. When we're doing this investment in infrastructure, we're improving the quality of life for people. Shorter time in cars, less pollution in the air.
guys agree? Tell me in the comments below. So the Senior Citizens League, a nonpartisan advocacy group, started an intense pressure campaign to push Congress to send those receiving Social Security additional money. Leaders of Congress have been urged everybody to pass a one-time $1,400 Social Security stimulus payment, a Social Security stimulus payment specifically for seniors. Such a measure could help defray the costs that are associated for some seniors from the 2022 COLA, which was the highest in over 40 years, putting them into a higher tax bracket. Seniors have also started to receive new COLA increase, but inflation is already running higher than its value, putting recipients at a disadvantage. Alrighty everybody, don't forget about this. Chuck Schumer will bring social spending and a voting bill to the floor in just a few days, using existing congressional rules to try to invade initial GOP filibuster. The House of Representatives will pass a bill containing both federal elections and a Voting Rights Act. The Senate will confront its debate over the filibuster when Chuck Schumer moves to shut down the debate. This is a very big deal. It is likely that the Senate rules will change for the first time in many years. All this week, Schumer said in a statement the Senate will finally debate voting rights bills, and that every senator will be faced with a choice of whether or not to pass the legislation to protect our democracy. Joe Biden also was attending a special caucus meeting with Senate Democrats today, as the party still struggles over how and whether to take and weaken the filibuster. Senators are furiously lobbying Manchin and Sinema to back off their opposition to weakening the 60-vote requirement. I definitely do think that Manchin and Sinema need to stop being so stubborn. It is important that the American people receive the stimulus checks that everyone needs. Even Schumer vows to hold a vote on potential rules. Schumer has yet to indicate what his final proposal to the caucus will be, and there are several different possibilities of what the final proposal could look like.
Good morning, everyone. Let me begin by just asking a few questions. Are the carpenters in the house right now? Yes. Are the laborers in the house right now? And aren't we thankful that Nancy Pelosi, the Speaker of the House, is in the house right now? And we're thankful that she's leading the House of Representatives in such a mighty way. This is a momentous moment in the midst of challenging times, but House Democrats and President Biden are continuing to do the business of the people. President Biden and House Democrats are the party of jobs, not mobs. We are the party of progress, not Putin. House Democrats are the party of infrastructure, not insurrection. House Democrats and President Biden are the party that gets stuff done and is building a better America for the people. And there is no better example of that than the historic infrastructure agreement that we are here today to celebrate. That will mean so much